Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum, and I'm freaking tired. That was a long stream yesterday, and I've been busy today burning the candle at both ends. I'm wore out, folks. I am wore out, so don't expect a super long stream today. It's going to be one of those streams that we're just going to be live for a little while, and it's just one of those things that I'm tired. I'm really, really tired, for obvious reasons. Um, get this shared out. There we go. There we go. Hey, what's going on, Grave Taker? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Steven, welcome to the live. Hey, Carla, good to see you. Man, oh man, last night was quite the interesting stream. Obviously there was two streams yesterday, so I'm not going to stay super live. Well, I'm not going to stay live super long today. I can't even talk. How am I? I'm exhausted, but I'm in good humor. A couple of things happened yesterday. Number one, we did our very first Minecraft marathon stream, and there's an excellent chance that that may become a thing because it wasn't bad. We didn't do bad last night on it. Which, I mean, it's one of those things I wanted to kind of, do kind of like a survival world and things like that, and, kind of, just chill out, have a nice chill stream, and it worked. Um, the I mean, considering the time that it was done, it didn't do bad. So we definitely got some watch hours, but because of the time frame, I have to wait till the hours go in by tomorrow. So at midnight tonight, I'll have a number, but the numbers they don't look bad so far as I could tell. Considering I streamed for almost 4 hours and 19 minutes straight. I'm exhausted today. Now, along with that, you can also see a little bit of leftover makeup from yesterday's Cinnamon live stream. It was not a success. The Cinnamon lives have been slowly getting more and more dead as time has gone on. And by Wednesday, depending on the playback of of those particular of that particular last live stream, will determine whether or not we continue. We may have to shelve the Cinnamon lives for a little while, maybe like a week or two, and then try it again. If it's successful, then we'll carry on with it. But right now, as it stands, it does not look good for the Cinnamon lives. So we could even see those go away by the end of the year. Kind of finish the year out. Hey, Queen. But yes, the Cinnamon lives just fell flat on their face yesterday, and I'm like, this. Despite the fact that this is a YouTube channel, I've always treated the Prince Magnum channel as if it was, television, if you will. It's just that you can go in anytime you want and watch any rerun you want. So I've always treated it like that. Um, that being said, the objective behind the Cinnamon live streams has not been, it's one of those things that everyone starts screaming, hey, I want this, I want this, I want this. And, uh, and it's like, all right, fine, we're gonna do this. We had a few laughs, we developed the character, and then we decided to roll with it. What ends up happening is the design behind it, um, basically where is it being killed? And it didn't take me long to kind of go back through and look. I spent a little while. This is just something I've noticed over time, and all of a sudden it's just like, I already kind of knew what I was going to be doing the moment I went into yesterday's stream. I kind of knew where it was going to be going. And basically, it's like, well, let's see what happens this time around. Maybe it was just a couple of dead streams. Well, this time around, it was a whole new ball game. It was like the first little bit. I mean, if I'm doing a DIY, that's fine. But see, the Cinnamon live streams have been designed to interact specifically with the audience. So what ends up happening is that we We went, set up the spot in the Discord, basically, lock down the chat, nobody under the age of 18 sort of thing. It's like, really don't, it's not exactly child friendly. And we knew that going into this. Good. I'm glad you're doing good. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. I'm just tired. I'm just tired because I've even been filming all day today, starting to build next year's content. Because the objective is to get to where um, I'm releasing, up to 3 videos a week, and then the rest of the time, I'm just, kind of off on my own, doing my streams and stuff. Okay. Well, welcome to the live, Jeffalo's Blobs. Well, welcome to the live stream. I think I said that right. Jeffalo's Blobs. I hope I got that correct. Um, you know, I'm not very good with names. Sometimes the names that come in, So the design behind the Cinnamon Lives, a lot of people stopped interacting, and then it started dropping off. Now, oh, okay, awesome, awesome. Well, or Juffalo is well, I got it as close as I possibly could. Welcome to the live stream. Regardless, we're kind of talking about current events, but I'm exhausted because I did a marathon stream last night and I'm just kind of wore out. I'm going to be straight up honest. Streaming for about 4 hours and almost 19 minutes. We were just shy of that. I'm whooped today coming in. I started a little after about 12:30 at night, and I rolled till you know well into the morning hours. It's not as long of a stream as whenever I did Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh my gosh, that was a really long stream. My God. And I would love to do that again. Yeah, yeah. Um, and I was exhausted from the stream yesterday. I was just so I'm not going to stay live super long today. Just want to kind of touch base and starting to look into the next week, what's kind of what to expect. Um, I'm going to be straight up honest with y'all. I'm not smoking as much as I used to, so I'm a little crankier than usual. I'm a cranky old man. What do you expect, But it's even more so. Um, so basically, with yesterday's Cinnamon live stream, and Juffalo, if you're not familiar with the Cinnamon live streams, it's basically where I get to show off my wife's amazing abilities as an artist, and you can still kind of see some of the makeup. Basically, she does me up like a woman, and I act the part. I act the part of a drag queen, even though it's a loosely based drag queen look. And the design behind it was initially to interact with people, um, to help couples kind of turn up the heat in the bedroom, because the Prince Magnum channel is credited right now. To our knowledge, we are the only YouTube channel, and for that matter, any other, you can name any other platform, including television, cable television, satellite, doesn't matter. To my knowledge, we are the only ones in the world doing both custom cars and romance. So to carry on with the romance side of it, if you will, the spicy side of it, long story short, there's a character on my channel called Cinnamon, and basically it's me done up loosely based drag, because that's a strict art form, and it's loosely based on it. Um, and these particular streams have been slowly dropping off, and the last three, more in particular, yesterday was completely and totally dead. So dead, in fact, that it's like if the number basically on the playback, if the numbers don't show that there was an improvement or anything, like basically it's like, okay, we got to go back to the drawing board. This is not working, and basically that whole particular stream is supposed to be shelved. Now, what ticks me off the most is, like I said, there was a lot of people that kept asking for it, and we did it. It was a lot of fun, but a lot of people kept asking for it, and it got to the point where there was even hashtag cinnamon for her own channel, starting to pop up in the stream. So it's like, okay, well, here's the next best thing. And it's a good thing we didn't make a whole nother channel just for the Cinnamon live streams because honestly and truthfully, if we had done that, that channel would fail because all the people, and we're talking down to maybe a couple of people who were asking for it, basically those are the only two that are showing up. So everybody else who was asking for it really isn't there. So that's kind of disconcerting. It's like, where were you guys? And as a matter of fact, there's a dear friend of the channel who runs his own, another one who runs an amazing YouTube channel. He's on his way up. He's like, screw them guys, just take it away from them. And it's like, well, let's back off from this for a couple weeks. Let's see what happens when we do it again. And if it does not, hey, what's going on, Sean? If it does not stay, if it doesn't, keep rocking and rolling, like, get back to the numbers it was supposed to be, goes away. The Cinnamon Lives will go away. That's just how, because basically, just like a TV, just like a TV station, if a particular show isn't making the ratings, or in my case, the numbers, there's no sense in me carrying it on. So now there's someone who's actually in the stream right now who's starting the movement, hashtag save cinnamon. And that's where we're at on this. So if, it's basically, if you guys want it, you're gonna have to support it. That's just the nature of the beast. And unfortunately, after yesterday's live stream, I cannot, in good conscience, continue to put the makeup on and play the part if no one's going to watch it because there's no sense in that. I could be doing something totally different at that point. Um, so it's one of those things that right at the 1 hour marker, I knew the numbers did not meet. And when we shut down the stream, basically at about 1 hour, I legit only had pretty much that 1 hour. So it was like, yeah, that's really not going to do it. I think it was at like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So it was dead. Like where it was just like, I can't do this. It's a waste of makeup. It's a waste of my time. And basically, there's no sense in running a segment on the channel that's just not going to get the numbers. So that's kind of where we stand right now. So for the next 2 weeks, Cinnamon will not be live. We will do something totally different. So that's just where it is. If you guys want it back, the numbers have got to match. Basically, that's just how it works. I can't, basically, I cannot meet my goal of making the 4,000 watch hours on 1 hour, every stream. It doesn't work that way. So, well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing. And Cinnamon is being shelved for the next 2 weeks. It is being shelved. And to answer your comment, you're in the ballpark. See, you got to remember that we do both custom cars and romance. The two subjects have always went together hand in hand. It's always been that way. It will stay that way pretty much till the end of time. As long as there are hot rods out there, and I don't care if the hot rods eventually go completely electric. As long as there's hot rods in the world, there will always be a need to add romance into that side of it. And I'm going to explain it and I know I might lose a couple of people along the way, but bear with me. There was, yeah, cinnamon is part of the romance side of it all. How you doing, Mikey G? And let me explain um, how this works. Um, Imagine just for a brief moment that you're a single woman, and that single woman is getting ready to go on out on a date. And basically you're playing, just picture you're a single woman, your date's coming over to pick you up. Do you want him to pick you up in a custom 70s car, or do you want him to pick you up and say something like a smart car? Not that there's anything wrong with a smart car. There are people that love them, but you decide. Okay. So it's one of those things that, again, by and large, most everyone will kind of go the custom 70s car. There will be a few that'll say, well, yeah, I'll take I'll take the smart car, whatever. But you guys get the general idea. Generally speaking, the cool car, Um, Again, nothing wrong with a smart car. Normally, I say the Yugo because the Yugo was a horrible car. It was a very horrible car. From what I remember, no, Cinnamon did not make her numbers yesterday. Cinnamon did not make her numbers. Um, and it'll depend by Wednesday. If the playback is played enough and it makes its watch hours, which I can go in and look at each individual video that I have and look at said watch hours. We're basically the Prince Magnum channel is when I looked this morning. Okay, Bitsy. I'll explain. In the last saw the hashtag. Here we go. And let me explain. Basically, in yesterday's live stream, the Cinnamon Live was dead. Dead, dead, dead. So dead, in fact, that basically it was like this is not working. Okay. And it's been getting this way the last two streams before yesterday's live. So we ran into the problem where it was like, you know, as I was looking at the numbers, I started seeing it drop off. And basically it's what people kind of forgot they were supposed to do. And so it was started killing the stream. The Cinnamon Lives are designed specifically for the audience to interact. Yeah. Um, right. And we'll get to this in a moment. What we're about to do. I, I could, but the problem is that by doing that, well, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Um, let me kind of go into it. So basically, it's one of those things that there for a little while it was getting shared out and people were really watching, and the numbers were there. I mean, it was not uncommon. Burlesque. We'll get to all of that. So basically, what ends up happening through this stretch is around around close to about a month ago, there was kind of a change in the whole thing. Hey, what's going on, James? Welcome to the live, my friend. There was kind of a change in the landscape of the channel, and there were certain people that were sharing it out, but then, we all fell out of, oh no, here we go. We fell out of favor with each other. Um, and there will be something kind of coming out about that. Right, right. Well, and see, that's kind of where we're at. Savage Game. Whoa, wow. So many people coming in. Wonderful, wonderful. Hi, Simon. Good to see you, buddy. We got Bitsy. Savage Gamer. Welcome to the live. So many wonderful people here. And well, turning it into a series, what ends up, hey, what's going on, Ron? Basically, that was the idea behind a lot of people here on the channel. A lot of people wanted to see something like that. We did it. Hey, what's going on, Christian? Checking in. Welcome to the live. Good to see you. So the design behind it was, because the people asked for it. Set it up where, I had all these great ideas and instituted damn near all of them. And in the process of instituting it, hey, welcome back, Kyle. Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Um, so basically, what ends up happening in there, my goodness, Jason, welcome to the live. My goodness. I am doing all right. I'm exhausted because I ended up doing a marathon stream yesterday. Now, not a super long one compared to some of the ones I've done before, but it was a good sized stream. So let me again, Cinnamon is not necessarily going away for a while, but she's getting shelved for a couple of weeks. Basically, when we started that series, getting spicy with cinnamon, that's thank you so much, Ron. Good to see you, Ron. That's an amazing guy right there. But basically, around the fifth or the sixth one, the landscape of the channel changed ever so slightly. Oh, I understand, Hades. I understand. Yeah, we did a Minecraft stream last night, and it was a lot of fun. Got my butt handed to me quite a few times, but it was still a lot of fun. We had a great time. Um, so what ends up happening to the Cinnamon Lives is around the fifth or the sixth one, I started to see the numbers drop a little bit. And what ends up happening basically is people kind of sort of stopped interacting, and that started killing the stream. Now, remember, I also have the Ask Cinnamon in the Discord, and every live stream we immediately drop that link. We'll drop it quite a few times throughout throughout the entire stream. There's an entire section in my Discord where you can go over there and ask Cinnamon any question you want. And the design behind it is if you're afraid to put, maybe, you're afraid to put your question into the chat, you could go over to the Discord and Cinnamon will not use your name, keep you kind of anonymous because not everybody has Discord. So it's kind of one of those things where you can kind of keep some anonymity, about you. Totally okay. And there hasn't been any, really, dude, the name, don't, I am not a very good with politics anymore because, yeah, so it was an awesome idea. And we initially started off where, it really was taking the numbers. I mean, it was not uncommon to see a Cinnamon live stream get well into the hundreds for views, well into the hundreds. Right, right, Hades. You know, so we were getting well into, the hundreds. Well, around the sixth, Cinnamon Live, what we end up seeing is a change in the landscape of the Prince Magnum channel that really shouldn't have stopped it. Right. Well, I know who the person is, and video coming soon before the end of the year. One of the last few in your face videos, actual edited in your face videos. So we'll leave that there. All right. They won't. Nobody really cares. Um, so that's kind of where we stand on it. So basically, around that time, there was a change in the landscape. There were certain people that I fell out of favor with and fell out of favor with me. We'll leave it there for now. Okay. Again, in your face is going to get a grand send off. So the landscape kind of changed a little bit here on the channel. Certain people I was working with no longer working with, and the irony of that is that actually happened right after I did this one killer video, this really awesome premiere cooking video, working with the Eclipse, and then they turned around and dug that knife right into the back. I mean, big time, big time. That's the irony of that. So we'll again leave that there. So what ends up happening is the next Cinnamon Live did pretty decent. Numbers were beginning to start to drop. Well, around the seventh one, I started really noticing the numbers kind of dipping heavy. Then it dipped further by the eighth one. And then by this one, it was dead. I think as I looked at it this morning, it was at like something like 40, 42 views. And that is right, right. Careful with using my. I mean, I don't mind it's sneaking in there. Just for the purposes of Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't use my real name on the channel. But you didn't know that, so now you do. But as long as you don't use my last name. But that's kind of what happened there. It just, and I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. So Cinnamon gets shelved for the next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks. Don't worry about it, brother. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's all good. It's all good, brother. Not like they know, I mean, it's one of those things just for the purposes of the channel, out of respect for AA. But then everyone knows my real name, but then it's one of those things. It's a formality, but so that's kind of where it stands right now. We will continue the cinnamon content, the edited content, but after that, there will not after that for there won't be any cinnamon live streams for the next 2 weeks. And then once we get to a certain point after the end of the 2 weeks, we'll give it another shot. We'll go, getting spicy with cinnamon number 10. And if it does well enough, and basically it's just gotta hit at least a total of, you know, it basically, if I do 1 hour as cinnamon, it's got to do at least 2 hours of watch time. To me, basically, that's a decent enough return for basically 1 hour of being in the makeup. You know, I got to at least make basically, there's got to be a profit. Okay. And with yesterday, there was no profit really, maybe an extra 20 minutes, and that won't do. That is actually the worst possible scenario. Considering that when I looked this morning, basically at the beginning of yesterday, I was sitting at 280 hours to go before I hit 4,000 watch hours. As of this morning, it only said I only picked up an hour. Now that could be rounded off. Yeah, that's very reasonable. That's very reasonable, Hades. So that's kind of where we sit on this, and there have been, and let me give you kind of an idea. A cinnamon live stream before could easily hit 20, 30, 40 likes easy. Yesterday, at best, I had 11. Okay. And remember, cinnamon is designed specifically to remind us to keep the bedroom interesting in our romantic relationships. That's what cinnamon is now designed to do. She's specifically for that. And of course, she has to play out the part of being kind of promiscuous. Okay. Now, obviously, this is, me portraying a fictitious character and playing out that part, that sort of thing. And that's the way it's designed. As a matter of fact, part of the reason why I'm trying to quit smoking is to soften my voice specifically for acting out as cinnamon. Um, so for those of you who did not know that, that is actually one of the reasons why that I have done that, because someone actually mentioned you kind of sound a little raspy. Well, yeah, I smoke like a freaking freight train. So now, so that's where that stands. Quitting smoking is also part of it's affecting my singing voice. Yeah, see what I mean? And here I am. I'm exhausted, from doing, so then I went live last night at about I think it was about 12:30 last night. And I went a little over 4 hours. It was about 4 hours and 19 minutes, give or take a few seconds. Um and made decent returns on that. Made pretty much, hey, what's going on, Smokey? I think I said that correctly. Right. So, there you go, Stewie. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So that's kind of where it stands. The objective behind the character. So, I mean, it basically right now, as it stands, the character is just not bringing in the views like it once did. So let's take it away for a couple of days. You need to stop too. That's a funny thing. Someone probably scrolled back up the top. So that's kind of how it works. Right now, as it stands, again, I'm actually already working on videos for next year. And as soon as I finish here, I got to go into the bedroom because the computer used to be in here, but after a couple of computers died this year alone. Oh, I hate to hear that. We're actually now that is something that's on the table right now. And basically, it's one of those things I need a little bit of time to work on it. But a cinnamon mini movie, actually, I've already been considering doing a cinnamon documentary, kind of like the development of a character on your channel to kind of give other content creators an inside track, sometimes on character development. Well, careful with using my first name. It's hey, what's going on, Alley Cat? But so there is talk about a cinnamon kind of a documentary on cinnamon and doing that whole bit, explaining the development of a character. So if you're looking at maybe doing something similar, if you yourself run a YouTube channel, that would be a character development, kind of how it could come about. Okay. Again, I'm going to explain, and we're going to be ending this a little bit earlier than usual. Again, I'm exhausted. Alley Cat, I seen you. I don't know if I said hi, but welcome to the live stream, Alley Cat. You missed it. I know you did personal fog. I am exhausted myself. Yeah, if he uses my real name again, you guys know what to do. Last night I just did a Minecraft marathon stream for a little over 4 hours. I am exhausted today. I'm whooped. Basically today, right now, the big talk is Cinnamon is getting shelved for the next 2 weeks due to lack of support for her her particular her segment here on the channel. So it's one of those things. Matter of fact, pretty much the whole stream yesterday, she basically was like, "Yeah, there's an excellent chance." And the support is dead. Basically, for a 1 hour stream, I picked up maybe at best, uh, yeah, memberships. How much longer? You know, how much longer till monetization? Now, that's a good question. As of this morning, we are sitting at a grand total of 279 hours as of this morning. Now, the numbers for the Minecraft live, yes, that I started early in the morning, it was about 12:30 in the morning. That particular, I guess you could say that particular that particular one, we netted, probably around, yeah, so we're ridiculously close. Right. Well, and I'm even going to give some inside track here in just a bit, about the Cinnamon Lives that I don't talk about. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to say right out of the gate is that basically the support started dropping off, and it's like, I've got to make those numbers now. For those that do not know, okay, I started pushing this channel drastically, and this is just before we got Project Spirit. I started pushing this channel because Princess Faye was in a horrible car accident, and I was doing it, but it was kind of like I was just flexing my muscles, sort of thing. And honestly, the channel truly got its start when we got Project Spirit. Now, there are videos that go long before Project Spirit's introduction, but again, that was just me kind of flexing my muscles. And there's a whole backstory on that. Um, Now, I started really pushing this channel because Princess Faye was in a serious car accident. The original project car for the Prince Magnum channel is not Project Spirit. It's actually a 1996. No, she's not back yet. I didn't get a chance to call on her yesterday, so I got to call on her, tomorrow morning. Well, sometime tomorrow after I get home from work. The original project car is actually a 1996 Ford Mustang. better known as Project Beauty. That's the original project car for the Prince Magnum channel. Now, I will tell you all right now, there was a video that I did. Yeah, she's doing somewhat better, but we'll get to all of that soon enough. Hey, what's going on, Chairman? Now that I've said that, she was in a horrendous accident. And this horrendous accident, basically, she went backwards off of a huge embankment. Head actually, went through the driver's window. Her head just slammed off the driver's window and shattered it. And her concussion was severe enough. Doctors even said it doesn't look good. There's an excellent chance by the impact that you suffered that you're either A, going to lose your eyesight, or B, you're going to go blind, or C, all the above. The Prince Magnum's the Prince Magnum's main goal is to get big enough that we could actually basically that I can quit working, just make my content, and when that day comes, that Princess Faye. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. She's not getting axed. We'll talk a little bit more about it. But basically, the design behind the channel is to basically support Princess Faye and I both, roof over our head, live comfortably, and I just make my content because disability does not pay diddly squat. It doesn't pay. It does not pay the bills. Okay. So because it doesn't pay the bills, um, and that sort of thing, the design behind the channel is so we don't have to put her on disability, and I don't have to worry about, you know, trying to take care of her at the same time. But and I know deaf people and blind people can still somewhat take care of themselves, but I know at least for a good while, Princess Faye won't be able to. She's gonna need help. And because of that, um, it'll be up to me to to kind of take care of her and that sort of thing. So as a husband, and I don't care who you are, husbands out there, what's going on, KC? Good to see you, brother. Thank you, Hades. I know who that person is, and yeah, it's good to see you, KC. We're kind of getting caught up on current events, and I'm actually giving some back history on the channel, which I really should do a video on that, kind of the behind the scenes. Right, right. Um, so in a nutshell, that's kind of where it stands. So so the design behind the channel is to take care of Princess Faye when that time comes, when she either A, loses her eyesight, or B, loses her hearing. And it looks like it's probably going to be her hearing. About once a year, we have to go over to Miracle Ear, and she has to get her hearing checked. Now, the last couple of years, her hearing has actually kind of stayed where it's supposed to, but it was starting to drop off pretty quickly, and they were saying that there has been significant hearing loss. So basically, in an effort to get ready for those days, my channel's been in high gear for a while. No pun intended to all of you hot routers out there. So that's why, I mean, even in the early days of dealing with this, um, it was not that uncommon. I would go out and I mean, I would beat the bushes, telling, take a car somewhere, and people were like, "Oh man, that's an awesome car." If you like what you see, if you want to see the work being done, go to the Prince Magnum channel over on YouTube. And I'd even, that was, believe it or not, about 400 to 500 of my subscribers on this channel are from doing that. This is not a joke. That's how serious I was. And this channel was at one time fully monetized. Welcome to the live stream, Mr. Smith. We're getting caught up on current events. So that's kind of where it stands. The objective was to basically kind of scale it up, to the point where we can make enough money. So when we take a look at the Cinnamon Lives, we were making those numbers. We were doing exceptionally well in that regard. But then all of a sudden, in the last three streams from Getting Spicy with Cinnamon, number 7, 8, and yesterday's 9. Right. It's dipping, it has. Right. You know, I know who it really is, and they're welcome back, Sean. So with that being said, looking at the numbers from yesterday, if basically even if the playback makes its numbers, then all of this conversation is completely null and void. But if yesterday's, yeah, yeah, it basically I know who the person is, and the person um, is trying to get under my skin because they know what's coming. There's going to be some challenges issued. Um, Pretty much the moment Project Spirit gets home to filming for a video where challenges will be thrown down. Um, I can't take them through. I cannot take donations through YouTube, but they can be donated directly to my PayPal. I know that sounds crazy, but they can be directly donated to PayPal, and we have done that. We have done that a few times in the past. Um, as a matter of fact, well, no, not you, Bitsy. You've been here for a long, long time. We know who you are. And if you're that worried about it, watch this. Because, boom! Bitsy, if you would do me a favor and drop your name in the chat, you'll notice the color. If you drop your, hang on, I totally screwed that up. You can tell I'm tired. All right. Bitsy B, if you would do me a favor, say something in the chat. You'll notice the color of the text of your name has changed. You'll notice an icon next to your name. That is because you are now a member of the Maverick Mechanics. There you go. Just like that. You can do whatever you need to with that wrench. You can use it to bludgeon some trolls, which I don't get trolls, I get stalkers. But you can bludgeon my stalkers as much as you want. You can even pick your teeth with that wrench. Just, whatever just don't, you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of where it all stands. So basically, you like that? I don't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. No, you weren't hidden. You weren't hidden. So basically, what it boiled down to, uh, and so that's just, that's one of those things that, you know, okay, you're gonna look till the end, Allie. So, and because, and I know this is gonna sound kind of, right. No one, it's one of those things that, yeah, all you in blue are charged with watching over me. And I have a lot of moderators, but there's a good reason for it because, oh, all right, Chairman, is because unfortunately, I know a lot of you can't always be here. When you're here, I appreciate it. When you can't, I miss you. And that's just kind of how it works. Well, and usually, pretty much with all of my streams, I'm used to seeing anywhere from about 9 to a ridiculous number all at once. Usually, it's well into the double digits. So, depending on the stream, I can expect, anywhere from 9 all the way up. Yesterday, we peaked out at a grand total of 6. That was the largest number that I had seen in the entire stream with Cinnamon. That was the lowest number I've ever seen. And I actually seen where a good part of the stream there wasn't anybody. So that, I mean, that is a dead stream to me. I was very upset about that. And it's like, you can't make numbers that way. You cannot make those numbers with an important goal like I'm talking about. You can't make your numbers that way. Now, So because of this, it's kind of, basically at times we're going to see if it's oversaturation, basically too much attention on this one thing. So if maybe we back off a little bit, we might get some interest in cinnamon again. Give it a couple of weeks, and if the stream goes exceptionally well, we'll go ahead and rock and roll. This will also give me time to restructure a few things in the delivery of cinnamon. This will give me some time to kind of go back to the drawing board and look at what we're doing. Right, right, right. See what I mean? We had someone coming in here using my real name, and it just seemed kind of unusual. Um, so it was one of those things that basically moderators are watching close because I don't get trolls, I get stalkers, straight up stalkers that find me attractive. And and I'll say it again, okay, for any troll that wants to kind of throw in. But basically, it's one of those things that I don't get YouTube trolls, I get YouTube stalkers, and it's they have this whole thing. I'm going to deal with that soon enough in my own personal way because it will involve having to call out a politician first. And we'll get to that. In your face, we're going to talk a little bit about in your face. I did not want to string this long. But basically, uh, you know, what it boils down to is that basically I have this one stalker who is infatuated with me, and I am married and I don't swing that way, okay? Find somebody, okay? They'll take you out on a date, they'll buy you a foot long, you'll swallow it whole, but that's just how it is, okay? I'm not interested. Despite the cinnamon live streams, popular belief there. Anyhow, um, so that's kind of where it stands. But currently, right now, it basically, poor Christian, um, you know, that's what it boils down to. Um, you know, basically, it's kind of like an oversaturation, I think, maybe too much attention. Uh, there's an old saying, um, you know, distance makes the heart grow fonder. So maybe a little time away, maybe restructure it a little bit, maybe get a little bit more attention to the Discord. Because I think some people are afraid to ask those questions for fear of what people might think. It's perfectly okay. Because you and I share the same first name. Now, and real quick before you use my real first name, uh, you know, you have to understand. Here, hold on. My real first for respect towards Alcoholics Anonymous, because I'm a sober member of AA. I do not use my name. That's why it's called the Prince Magnum channel, and I don't use my actual name. Along with that, I'm notorious for telling politicians where they can stick it. And I have made, I'm Native American, and I'm telling off white politicians. You can see where this is a danger. So for the purposes of that, I use, I go by Prince Magnum. Most everyone calls me Prince. I don't, you're almost calling me by the title. Oh, okay, okay. I trust you. It's all good. It's all good. But basically, we've had problems in the past where people have done that. And it was just kind of suspicious because someone was purposely using my first name. And it's okay to know my first name. And when the cameras are off, if we're talking, go ahead and call me by my first name. But basically, you came in with pretty much kind of a similar name. The only thing that was different was your last name. The two were different. So immediately they're like, really? So it was one of those things. It was kind of a convenience sort of thing. So and none of us believe in coincidences, especially on this channel. So that's what that was about. That's why it was that way. I apologize if you are not said YouTube stalker, because like I said, we get stalkers here. We don't get trolls, we get stalkers. So it was one of those things. It was one of those purely interesting coincidences, purely, which is no such thing as a coincidence. But anyhow, so that's what happened there because I'm coming up on 15 years sober this February 7th, which there will be a big celebration on that. We will go live and we will celebrate. How are we going to celebrate? I think I'm going to drink some coffee, drink some specialty coffees or something. Maybe make up something. I don't know, but we'll sit back and we'll have a lot of laughs. It'll be a lot of fun. But where was I? So basically, that's kind of the thought process is that I can maybe spend a little bit of time, kind of building up the Cinnamon live stream a little bit better. Maybe work on a little bit of a set of some sort that I can take down, put up, sort of thing. But yeah, the landscape has changed here on the channel quite a bit. We're getting ready to say goodbye to one of the original series here on the channel. In Your Face is going to be going away. It will be replaced with a series that was supposed to be In Your Face, but it ended up turning into dealing with dirty politicians and dirty stuff that initially In Your Face was designed to help young people basically. Oh, no worries, no worries. You can make a birthday cake. Princess Faye, that'll be hers. Oh, you like watching me cook? Believe it or not, I gotta do a couple quick touch-ups, but I thought I lost the original footage. Do you guys like kebabs? Shish kebabs? Do you all like shish kebabs? Because welcome back, Mikey G. Good to see you. Because I have found an actual video that I had completed. I had completed an entire video of making shish kebabs. It was my very first time, so it was kind of an experiment. So if the video footage went sideways, I could delete it, but and you guys would have never known the wiser. But I went back and I got lucky and found it. I actually found the original, the setup. As a matter of fact, it's still it uses kind of what our originals. Fiesta Friday. I ran into idea problems. I had a couple of them. Then it's like well, we might see about diving back into that a little bit. But we might be changing that to Food Fridays. I don't know. That usually we were also having scheduling issues at my job. That was some of the problem that we were dealing with. So, in a nutshell, I found my old kebab video that I was going to release earlier this year. I couldn't find it. It was lost. I thought I'd lost it. So we got lucky and found it. And all I got to do is put in a title. But this literally uses the original openings that I used to use, a kind of a style of it. Well, it was like my third or fourth different style of opening. I forget exactly how many I've went through. But it basically, it kind of has me looking at the camera and then kind of giving you an idea of what we're about to do. And then it would cut into an intro. And it actually uses the introduction that we used for 2 years. Video footage of Project Spirit that we used for like 2 straight years. And we just this year finally replaced it. So it was about time. So we used that introduction for a good long time. And right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's kind of how it was. So I went back and found that video footage. So it's going to be kind of this is unreleased Prince Magnum channel content. So we're going to be taking a look at that and releasing it. Hopefully it's well received. It's got a little bit of time in it. And it's one of those ones I meant to release it earlier this year, like real early this year. And it was supposed to be like that beginning of the year content, but it didn't happen that way. And I even got lucky enough, all I got to do is put an intro and an outro to it, where I actually restored a hammer. And this was before we started doing that in live streams. So I've got that video footage. And it's all edited. All I got to do is take care of that. So I'm going to release some unreleased content that was meant to be released like back in February of this year. Yeah, that's a thing. It was due to release back in February and we had problems. So here we are now. So you guys are getting your unreleased content. Also, heads up, I'm going to have some bloopers. No, Project Spirit is not home yet. We are still having problems with the shift linkage. And let me explain. The shifter is in place. The transmission, the cross member is in place. The transmission cooler and the lines are in place. The shift cable is not. We basically have everything all set up, ready to go, but we can't put it in gear until that linkage is dealt with. I cannot, in good conscience, recommend Summit Racing to a single person right now. Hey, welcome back, James. I cannot recommend Summit Racing to a single person right now because they cannot tell the difference between a C4 automatic and a C6. Twice they have sent me the wrong shift cable, universal shift cable linkage. Instead of getting one for a C4 automatic, right? Instead of getting one for a C4 automatic, they sent me one for a C6. So a grand total on twice they did this. So I told them, look, all we need is this for a C4 automatic and the stock shifter, basically it's got to connect into the stock connections. What do? They sent me the connections to hook this cable up for a custom ratchet shifter, not the original factory stuff. We're talking aftermarket stuff that I don't even have. So Summit Racing on 3 separate occasions have dropped the ball. So now we're stuck trying to make this shift cable work. And hopefully the head mechanic Rodney at Torque Diesel and Auto has figured out something. He basically explained what he needed, and he's like, all I got to do is go over to the hardware store. Again, for the record, there are people here there are car guys, which is a nicer way of saying car enthusiasts, that doesn't think you can get things for your project car at a hardware store, and that is bullshit. There's a lot of things you can get at a hardware store for your project car. You just can't buy things like alternators, um, starters, things like that. There are times when you need certain nuts, bolts, things like that. Or there are times there are just little connections, like dealing with hard lines, like brake lines, dealing with metal gas lines. There are times you need compression fittings, like in plumbing. That's what it is. So you have to cut, you cut the lines, hook them together, and with a compression fitting, and it holds. I have done that. You get those things at a hardware store. So I'm sorry, I don't see where the car enthusiast, what we like to call car guys nowadays, gets that whole idea that, no, you can get car parts at a hardware store. You just can't get some of the things you might, that you typically associate with a parts store. You can get things. There are times that you need to fabricate things, and I'll tell you right now. Well, look at the ignition panel in Project Spirit. That ignition panel I fashioned from metal that I bought at a hardware store. Well, it was mostly a hardware store, mostly. You know, and they carry industrial stuff, so that was a Menards, I mostly hardware, you know, for home improvement. I bought sheet metal from them, and that sheet metal was turned into an ignition panel for a car. So yes, you can. There are times you just have to make things. What you're needing, it doesn't exist, so you have to make it. So fabricating things out of metal is always a handy skill to have. And there are some that do a lot better than I do. So, I mean, again, that's where we're at. We're waiting to see what he comes up with. He's even thought about just making a shifting rod and connecting it all in so I could, then just start driving her. Because once Project Spirit gets home, obviously we got to get back to filming, but Project Lena is going to be starting to circulate in and out of the shop herself because she needs a new catalytic converter. She needs a new, we're going to have the fuel pump done, fuel filter. Basically, this is perfect time because there is a new mini series that's going to be directly attached to do-it-yourself budget hot rodding. And that miniseries is specifically designed, which will not be released till next year, but there is going to be a new series specifically designed for our up and coming lady hot rodders. Yes, this is actually a thing. Guys, we are no longer the ruling class in the hot rod community. Women are starting to take over. No, no. Um, Rodney, that's a funny story in itself that sometime I need to do a really in-depth video. But currently, right now, for the end of the year stuff, we're actually releasing unreleased video footage that I got like not just last year, but the year before, all the way back in 2018. And I'm just now getting to it. I'm just now finding it because just this year alone, we have went through two computers. So, but yes, guys, we are no longer the ruling class in the hot rod community. And when I say the hot rod community, this includes drag racing, this includes car shows, even right down to drifting. Okay, you name it, club racing. We are no longer the ruling class. Women are beginning to take over the custom car community. So much so that I have been approached. Actually, we've already been on this trend for a long time now. Princess Faye is quite the gearhead herself. Um, if you all actually go back to a specific Facebook Marketplace, okay, fair enough. But um, if you go back to the Happy Birthday Project Spirit, and it goes into like the beginning of that video montage, and you see a little bitty hand come into view turning a socket wrench and has on the desert camo jacket, that little bitty hand turning that wrench on that spark plug, that was Princess Faye. She was 3 months pregnant doing that. She took the wrench from me and basically took over working on Project Spirit. That is not a joke. So we have already had, our own lady gearhead here on the channel. All the artwork on Project Spirit and Project Lena, that's Princess Faye. That is her work. I take that back. There's a couple of spots where I got to do a little bit of artwork, just a little bit, but mostly it's Princess Faye. It that's all her work, hands down, bar none. That is my wife's work. Now that I've said that, so we've already been doing that. And I came up with the idea that since this is now becoming a new thing where ladies are taking over the hot rod Oh yeah, she knows. She actually knows. She doesn't know like the finer engineering stuff like I might. And even there, even I can only go so far. Um, but in a nutshell, Princess Faye can turn a wrench. She's I would say intermediate in the hot rod community. Obviously, her artwork is well advanced in the hot rod community, but when it comes to her capabilities of building a vehicle, she's definitely in the intermediate class, which is definitely not bad. Right? So the ladies are beginning to really kind of come into the forefront for for hot rodding, and we're seeing more and more lady drivers. As a matter of fact, I actually came across, and I cannot remember the name of the video, but there is actually a lady that did an entire that an entire video was done on her and her Maverick, not a joke, and she drag races that son of a gun, and at one time that Maverick was her daily driver. So if that's any indication, I mean, we're talking she she built turned her daily driver into a drag car, and I love it. I love it. It's a good looking car, good looking car. So because it is becoming a trend where ladies are kind of taking over the hot rod community, and the guys, I guess, we're being pushed. We're not doing it anymore. We're not doing the custom cars like we once were. So because of this, I was approached by a couple of ladies, and was asked to kind of, starting, basically, no pun intended, gearing videos for the ladies getting into the hot rod community. And I said, well, I mean, we've been kind of already doing that. They said, no, 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 you don't understand. There's a lot of us that don't know anything about cars. I said, well, how little are we talking that you know? Well, when you go to do the video, you might want to specifically point out this is a car. It has four tires and wheels. I'm like, oh shit. We're doing good. We're doing good, Paul. Careful with the. I don't mind out when the camera's off. I don't mind my first name being used. Just don't be using it in the streams, please. The reason why. Well, it's one of those things that in that case, I would be the type to say, well, I was approached by a couple of ladies, and that's how I met your mothers. Right, exactly, exactly. So we are beginning, right. Actually, Paul's been in here, but yeah, one of them things. Um, I don't think we need to time him out necessarily or toss him off, but he might have forgot for a brief moment. When the channel is off and I'm away from, it's just that it's mainly out of respect for Alcoholics Anonymous. So again, I ask, don't, you know, I've never met him in person, but he's been in and out of here regularly. So once again, thought it was him, huh? We'll double check. We'll double check. No. All right. So we're okay. I don't have to. All right. No, no. I think it's a different person. I mean, we get so many people coming through. So that's kind of how it is. Paul, if you're still around, it's one of those things, we had someone in here who was basically trying to do that, and everyone's kind of, let's see, But anyhow, so that's kind of where it is. So in the hot rod community, yeah. So that's kind of where it stands. Again, so the basically those the poor ladies were like, we really need you to kind of start us off at the beginning. This is your car. It has four tires. And it's like, oh shoot. How do I make it interesting? And I thought about it, and now I know what to do. So even though the videos themselves, this series will obviously not begin its release until next year. Basically, that you know we're going to end the year with a lot of the content that we've got, And then basically at the beginning of next year, we will kick it into high gear. Again, no pun intended. We're kicking into high gear with some really awesome content. And we're going to kind of back off the live streams because I'll be honest with you, it is hard to do live streams when you're you're primarily a DIY channel. That does become very difficult. And we really, I mean, we've done it, but it would it would make it easier if I had certain things that I did at certain times, and that sort of thing. Now I know that at some point we're gonna stream Minecraft a little bit more because that seems to be a thing. A lot of people really like Minecraft, and we might as well. I've been playing Minecraft for years. When I need time to think and I can't sleep or anything like that, Minecraft is a great way to unwind. Um, there are times that I'll be having difficulty sleeping. I'll go play a little bit of Minecraft for about a half an hour to an hour, kind of think about whatever's on my mind, and while I'm doing it, and it's a great way to just kind of let it, just clear the head. To tell you how far back I go, again, I have mentioned this before. When you would have it in, I remember a time when there was two modes: survival and creative. That was it. And there was no Ender Dragon. And to tell you how far back I remember it, I actually, hey, what's going on, Papa? Welcome to the live stream. I'm doing well. I did not intend to stream as long as I did. It was supposed to be a short stream, but it didn't happen that way. We got talking. So, in a nutshell, when I first started playing Minecraft, you could kill a zombie and it would drop feathers. I want you to take that in for a moment because now they drop all sorts of other stuff, but feathers isn't one of them. You get those from chickens. Well, that should tell you how far back I started playing the game. And I didn't discover it until Princess Faye introduced it to me. And I've had, basically, I've had a lot of fun playing it over the years. I've watched the game change a lot over the years. And there are actually some things that I don't like that's been added to the game just because it's become a convoluted mess to me. But I'm still pretty good at it, except when I start a world off and I give myself a bonus chest um, and I can't find it. Fucking hell. Anyhow, excuse my language, ladies. Um, so that's just one of those things. So that's kind of so we're going to try to stream that about once a week, and I'm thinking we might be adding this in on Saturday nights and do like a marathon stream, kind of a chill marathon stream. Um, and in the place of the cinnamon live stream for this Saturday, we'll probably start around that time and then rock and roll until I can't go no more. Um, you know. Right, right, Sean. So that's just kind of how it stands. Um, that's where we are. Um, now, um, now that I've kind of covered that, so we're, basically in place of the cinnamon live stream, which I know a lot of people are really angry about. Again, it's not permanently going away right now, but we're going to give it a couple weeks. We're going to see how it turns out. Uh, if when we bring back for cinnamon, getting spicy with cinnamon number 10 in a couple of weeks, if the numbers are there, we're going to keep going. If the numbers are not there, then yeah. Right? Right? Right, Bitsy? I mean, that should tell you. So that's kind of, where it is. Night, Chairman. You rest well, buddy. And we may even look into, in the process of this, maybe there's a certain night. There you go, Casey. There may be a certain night that what we might look at doing, maybe we might need to change the cinnamon lives to, maybe like maybe because I mean it seems like Sundays I do really well. I do really well on Sundays. We might have to look at maybe moving it to Sunday night instead. After a wild weekend, why not top it off with a little bit of cinnamon, right? And real quick, Casey, I know you had someone who was watching from your channel and loved cinnamon. Well, now is the time. Basically, it's like everyone's screaming, "Hey, we got to, if you see Sean, he'll tell you hashtag save cinnamon." So that's kind of where we're at. But now, again, if the playback for yesterday's live, if the playback hits the numbers, then this is a null and void. Um, basically what I'm saying right now, basically, if by Wednesday everything looks good, ooh, that's basically tree bark. I think we all were. I think we were all pretty crazy in our teen years. Actually, no, I take that back. I was actually the shy, awkward teenager when I was in my teen years. Most people don't believe me on that. I really was the shy, awkward teenager in high school, believe it or not. I really was very shy, very awkward. Um, I I wanted people to like me, but I really didn't want people to pay attention to me. That's kind of where it was. And when they did pay attention to me, I I was no good at taking center stage. Yeah, yeah, I was shy. I was the shy guy back in high school. I really was. And here, I mean, I'll walk up to just about anybody now. Hey, what's going on, man? you know, what you doing today? How you doing? I mean, that's my nature today. I'll go up to a brand new coworker. How you doing? Welcome to the country club. And they're like, what the frick, dude? You're cool as heck, man. I'm Prince Magnum. You're a crazy maintenance man. That's just kind of how it works. And then they get to know the channel and they're like, man, I'm rubbing elbows with one of the content creators, part of the 1K club. Oh, well, it is what it is. So that's kind of how it stands. Um, so yeah, most people would find that hard to believe. I got with my high school sweetheart, and she really broke me out of that. She really broke me out of that. And I started developing into who I might eventually become. And I guess you could say. So that's just kind of a little back. Maybe I might have to tell that backstory. Most people would really be surprised. But anyhow, we went a lot longer than I anticipated. Again, I really didn't want to go this long. I will say that I am working on basically when this stream stops, I get a cup of coffee, and then pretty much it's finishing out a video that I started working on actually yesterday. It's a very long-winded video. Again, we're already working on content for next year. Literally, I'm filming content to begin next year. That's kind of where it stands. Now, Sean's a trendsetter. Hashtag hashtag save cinnamon, huh? So again, the numbers really got to meet for the cinnamon live streams to continue. So we'll kind of give you the executive recap. Um, First and foremost, if through the playbacks the numbers on the cinnamon live stream meets the goal that I'm looking for, basically it has to it for a 1 hour stream. All I ask is 2 hours. That's really where it stands. Okay, basically I have to see a return of some sort. Views don't mean as much as they used to here on YouTube. It's all about the watch hours or watch minutes, however you want to look at it, depending on what app you're looking at. If you're looking at the website through YouTube Studio, it's going to be watch hours. Oh no, I really was the shy guy. I really was. But basically, and to me, if you do 1 hour, a good return on your time is you double that. So for 1 hour, if you get two, that's a good return. Okay, anything more than that is just a bonus. because unfortunately with YouTube, views don't mean as much as it used to. And I will even give you an example. There is a video here on the channel. This is not a joke. There is a video here on the channel. You can look it up yourself. That literally is at over 94,000 views. 94,000 views. Coming up on 95,000 views. This is not a joke. As a matter of fact, Mr. Gamerian BRFC himself had someone in his he had a great deal of respect for, up until the person lied to him, said, "Oh, I've got this huge video that I put out." He went and looked. There is no such video on this person's channel. And I asked, when he called the person out on it, and I said, "Can I drop a link?" "Yeah, go for it." And I dropped the link to that video, and then I turned around and said, "That's what that looks like." Ooh. Oh, really? Wow. That's rough, man. Ironically enough, I was actually told that that well, I remember back in kindergarten they wanted to diagnose me as autistic. I don't know. But anyhow, no, just an alcoholic, a little weird and eccentric. But anyhow, where was I? Got chasing rabbits there. Where was I? Doggone it. Come on, brain cell. Oh, really? Shy ever? I find that a little hard to believe, Sean. But I mean, but then again, everyone has a hard time believing it with me, right? Um, so that's one of the things. So now that I've said that, gosh dang it, you can tell I'm getting tired. I can't remember what I was talking about. Right. Dang it. I totally lost my train of thought. Gosh dang it, I hate that. You can definitely tell I'm tired. I'm wore out from last night's stream. But basically, in a nutshell, the return was well worth it. Uh, you know, doing that stream yet, last night. And Sean was actually there for a brief minute watching me play Minecraft. I kept getting my butt handed to me initially. Um, oh yeah, executive recap. Basically, if the numbers match on the playback for the live stream for Cinnamon, then everything I just said today is non-existent. We'll do somewhat of an announcement on Wednesday if the numbers were there. I got to go in, basically, I got to work on a video quick, finish editing out another, getting the video footage for another one, and start putting together content for the next couple of weeks. We're going to start, I do need to kind of back off the live streams again. That it's not that I don't want to go live. The problem is that as a DIY channel, with it getting as dark as it is at the time I go live, doing work outside, almost not possible. And it gets really cold and really rainy this time of year here in Missouri. So we're already running into a lot of problems. So running power tools outside in wet rain, in windy, rainy weather does not exactly sound like a good time. You guys will all be calling me Sparky afterwards. So that's kind of where we stand on this. So we're at that stage now. Oh yeah, we were talking about my 94, 90, almost 95K video. It took me a second. So in a nutshell, that particular that video does exist, and so views don't mean squat like it once did here on YouTube. It's all about the watch hours. So again, now I remember where I was. So that's kind of where we stand coming into the next week. So we're going to start releasing some videos that I intended to release earlier this year, but it didn't happen that way. Is everyone from Missouri? No, they're not. There are a couple of people that actually come in that are from my area, and there's a few people that are not from my area at all, not even close, that I have actually met that are in my channel. She's not here tonight, Sad Cat. I've actually met her in person, and she's from somewhere in Illinois. So if that's any indication, to give you an idea. So I mean, I've actually traveled and met some of you in the Maverick Nation already, which I'm hoping to eventually get set enough where I can actually do something like that. Come and meet all of you in person. That would be really awesome to be able to kind of travel around and meet some of you all. That would be wonderful. I'm one of those content creators that I love. I love to meet people. I've had people come up and say, "Hey, man, oh yeah, oh yeah, I have no problem hopping a plane." Which heights like that kind of scare me a little bit. Jumping on a plane and well, jumping inside of a plane. You don't want to ride on a plane. That doesn't. No, we won't. Yeah, someone in here from Denmark. We have a lot of people from England. A lot of people from England that come in. The United Kingdom. So yeah, and I would love to see. I would love to see the United Kingdom. I've been told that England has a very beautiful countryside. I would love to see that. There we have some people from Ireland. I would love to see Ireland. Ireland, I've been told, is absolutely beautiful. Michigan, there you go. See. Yeah, so we're having to look at our winter content, and thankfully, I have some of that backlog stuff that I can now begin releasing. Um, and expect the Death Star to explode in aircraft remover. Expect it to explode soon. So heads up. Which that just basically means that we'll be going into the next set. Um, Yeah, if you're in blue, grab the link to your channel if you run a channel and make sure that you drop it in the chat so we can find you. That's how that works. You don't have to ask permission on this channel. But yeah, Gamerian, BRFC, hashtag Ian sponsored by Lipton Tea. Uh, the king of the tea bag. That's kind of where it stands on that. That um, in a nutshell, he had someone lie about a huge video they released, and then I put that one in there, and he's like, "Holy shit, Prince Magnum, that's a that's a lot of views, brother." And I said, "Yeah, it took it a while to get there." And we had a big laugh about that. I said, "That's what that looks like." So if I've got a video that's that big, um, you know, and I'm not monetized, then that should tell you something. It's not about the amount of views. It's about the amount of watch hours. So that's kind of where we stand on that. So kind of, going into this next week, we're going to stay live as much as we can. If I can't go live, it'll be edited video that'll be coming out because I'm also quitting smoking at the same time. And I will be absolutely honest with you, I'm not always easy to deal with. As a matter of fact, this past week I had to cancel one of the live streams because I was very, very under the weather from trying to quit smoking. I've only had one cigarette today, and it's mostly been the vape. So that's where we stand. All right, so that does bring us to a decent stopping point. We're, again, expect unreleased video footage, an unreleased video that was meant to be released back earlier this year. I believe, again, I think back in February I wanted to release this, but we're going to release it. Again, I found a bunch of videos like that, so we're going to release that as kind of like what you were meant to see earlier this year. And some of it you might find very interesting, very interesting. So, and kind of expect the kebab episode for tomorrow. Ron, I know you're somewhere in the background. Kebabs, filmed all the way back in 2000. No, I'm sorry, 2019, during the great Prince Magnum channel expansion, where the Maverick Nation swelled its ranks and we came into our own. Right? All righty. So that does bring us to a great stopping point. Thank you all again for being here. And this was supposed to be a short stream. Y'all got me talking about cinnamon. Again, we will try to continue forward with cinnamon content throughout basically, we will try to continue to try. I'm supposed to be hooking up with some people, and we're supposed to be doing the Try Not to Laugh at Cinnamon challenge. We might try sometime here in the near future another attempt at the Fortnite live stream since we were able to get Minecraft to do what it does, and we were doing it in an area that was very difficult to stream in basically in the location that I've set up my homestead in Minecraft. It's not an easy location. So because of that, it just makes sense. Maybe we're set up now where we can now stream Fortnite. And if that's the case, we might even squeeze in, depending, we might look at doing Fortnite live streams. So that's kind of where that stands. Again, we're just looking ahead at winter content. So that does bring us to a good stopping point again. As usual, I want to thank every one of you who remained in the live stream for as long as you did. Again, I did not intend to stream this long. I actually meant to cut it off at about a half an hour, but we're an hour over that. Hour and 2 minutes now. In true Prince Magnum style fashion, it goes a little something like this. Get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.